Okay, hey y'all, it's Michelle. I am here to give my 6-month update on being primarily plant-based. And I do have some notes here, so I will be looking down just because I haven't done a video in so long that I know that all of my thoughts will just fly right out of my mind.
And hi, this is Sandy here, and I'm going to try my hand at some editing here. Michelle and I are at our respective homes, and so I am going to insert my clips in this video to talk about my experience on this plant-based journey for the past 6 months.
Okay, so first, for my why, I will be turning 50 soon, and at this point in my life, I just really wanted to be the best version of myself. And that's in every way, you know, my health, you know, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I'm just trying to just be my best. But, you know, number one, with that comes health, because at this stage, you know, is when we start to experience more health problems. So that was my primary reason for embarking on this journey. So at this point, 6 months in, I do say that I am primarily plant-based. And I will say that at this point, since my cruise in May, I'm probably 75 to 80% plant-based. So, and where I fail, or I don't want to use the word fail because it just is my version of what I'm doing, so it's not a failure, but I do indulge in, at this point, it is the sweets, which, you know, the sweets will have dairy. I do try to choose vegan sweets, but I don't always, and I don't even stress about it when I don't. And also cheese. Now the cheese came about when we went on a cruise in May for, I think we went the last week in May or something like that. That was the first time I had regular cheese. I had been eating mostly vegan cheese. And from that point on, I don't eat it often, but if something, you know, has cheese in it, or there's this place where I go and get this portobello mushroom sandwich, and I've discovered that it's so much better with cheese. So I don't stress over that. If I'm going to get that portobello mushroom sandwich, I will 9 times out of 10 get cheese on it. So those are the two main areas. And then just this week, ironically enough, actually it started last week that I got the taste for fish. I just really wanted a piece of salmon. I didn't get it, but then this week, this past week, I'm sorry, I did. And then yesterday, my mom and sister and I went to this Caribbean restaurant in our city and got red snapper. And that was the first time I had that in many, many years. And it was really, really good. I don't think it's something that I will eat that often, you know, the fish, just because I don't generally have the taste for it. And that's the same thing with the other meats. I don't have the taste for anything at this point. So that's where I am now in terms of my diet, the, you know, 75 to 80% plant-based.
And I started the plant-based diet. It was really started when I watched a couple of the documentaries, What the Health, and some of the others that are out there about the meat industry and how much healthier it is to have a plant-based diet. So that was really, really my motivation to start this. And in addition to that, you know, I wanted to lose weight. So I started on this journey, and I was really hoping to get more health benefits from it. And I'm sure that I am. However, when I started this journey, I had high blood pressure and continue to have high blood pressure. And so I was hoping to be able to get off of my medications. I have not been able to do that. But I did go for my physical during the last couple months, and my cholesterol, which I've never had a problem with my cholesterol being high, I've never been told that it was high, but it was unusually low. And so the doctor did make mention of it, like, wow, you know, I thought that there was some type of mistake. What are you doing differently, you know? And so I told her I was doing a plant-based diet, and so we attributed it to that. So that was good to know. However, I'm not on medication for that. So, you know, it was just one of those things. But basically what I had been doing was eating plant-based 100% of the time until the cruise, same as my sister mentioned. And on the cruise, my thing was the seafood. So I have always been a big fan of seafood. And so on the cruise, of course, when you are in Central America, the Caribbean, whatever, there's really good seafood. And so I had my first taste of some shrimp and lobster during that time period. And then when I came home, I was still fine. I didn't, go back into it. But since the cruise, I've had 3 additional trips, and that's where I have a hard time. As long as I'm home and I'm able to cook my meals or whatever, plan my meals better, I'm able to stick with the diet. I don't crave meat at all. I'm able to find things that satisfy me. I do eat some of the veggie meats that they have out there, like the I think my sister mentioned Gardein. I like that. I like the Beyond Meat. So if I have a desire to have like a burger, I can get one of those. Now I will say that when I first went plant-based, I was more apt to try to make my own black bean burgers and things like that. I mean, I was really doing well, but over time I've started to get into more of the, pre-processed meats and things when I do have that desire. But I have no problem at all having just an all veggie meal. I'll eat, spinach and avocado toast or something like that for breakfast, and that's perfectly fine. Or just some stir fries and things like that. But when I went on these trips, as I started saying, it becomes harder to have options. And when I'm on vacation, I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to just stress out about, finding a vegan restaurant because, 9 times out of 10, I'm not traveling with another vegan. And so, I just have to try to make do. So, one thing that I did have that I had not had in like 6 months was I had a pizza that had pepperoni on it. That is the absolute only meat that I've had in the last 6 months. Have not craved it at all. So did have that, and that's about it. Other than that, I would say I'm probably more like 80 to 90% plant-based, but I'm getting ready to get back into it where I'm 100%. I definitely want to do that.
Okay, so also I went to the doctor. And I went to the doctor about, a month and a half ago, and she was so pleased. I've been off of all of my medications, but she said that my test results were even better this year than they were last year. So if you recall, last year I was doing Weight Watchers, and all of my numbers had come down to within, acceptable ranges, and I was able to get off of, had been taking something for blood pressure and cholesterol at one point. And so I was able to get off of everything. And so when I went back this year and she did all of my blood work, she said everything was even better than it had been last year. The only thing that had changed was me eating primarily plant-based. So I'm very happy about that. And I generally feel very good. Unless it's the time of the month for me to not feel good, I feel great on a day-to-day basis. So that's a good thing. Speaking of Weight Watchers, my weight. Now I am at this point 5 pounds over my Weight Watchers goal weight, and that I pretty much hang right there at that 5 pounds. And so the eating plant-based is not a weight loss tool. It can be, but it's very possible to be a junk food vegan. And I would say that that's what I am, because I mentioned earlier the sweets. What is my other vice? French fries. French fried potatoes are okay to eat, but I do eat French fries. I try to bake them, but though that's an area where I think it just keeps me from the weight from just falling off, because of I do eat processed vegan foods, processed plant-based food, a lot of the Gardein foods and Amy's, and the pre-prepared veggie burgers and black bean burgers, those processed things. So that has the other elements to it that I think keep the weight from falling off. But I am in my good weight range, but I do have those 5 pounds that really have kind of been around since that cruise that I am working on. So, and I know exactly what I need to do because I don't eat that many things. I don't eat a variety of things. So it's very easy to target exactly where I need to cut back.
So when I started the plant-based diet, I was just off of Weight Watchers as well, and I had met my goal weight, and I was okay at that point with just maintaining. And so for the first 4 months, the first 4 months, I was able to maintain with the plant-based diet. And I will say that even when I was cooking at home and all of that, you know, I still, like my sister mentioned, the fries, I was still doing that. I didn't have a problem with eating, you know, a couple hands full of cashews, things like that, that are very, very, very high in calories. But even with that, I was maintaining my weight. So I was very, very pleased. Even coming back off the cruise, and I would say I didn't really eat bad on the cruise. You know, it's all you can eat and all of that, but we really didn't indulge a lot. I did have the seafood, as I mentioned before, but for the most part, I ate okay. I came back from the cruise, had not gained anything, so I was like, okay, I got this. This is wonderful. However, as I mentioned before, I had 3 additional trips since the cruise. And on those trips, that got me because I was eating more potato chips and, you know, having more wine, things like that. And so I'm actually up now 7 pounds. And so that has truly gotten my attention. It's like, okay, no. You have got to get this back under wraps. So that's why I mentioned I'm going back on a plant-based diet. And I know also, as my sister mentioned, I know exactly what it is that I need to cut out. I need to cut out the junk, because just because you follow a plant-based diet definitely does not equal losing weight. So you do still have to make good choices. And so that's where I am. I also wanted to mention a medical thing that I didn't mention earlier. When I first went plant-based, I felt really good initially, and then I started to get sick. I was back and forth with the doctor, having all these tests ran. I just was not feeling well, energy low, dizziness, just a lot of really weird symptoms. Well, I was not taking a B12 supplement. So long story short, that is something that I have had to incorporate, because when you are on a plant-based diet, you don't get all of your nutrients, i.e. B12, in your diet. And so that is one thing that they tell you to include. So since I have included that in my, you know, every day I take a B12, I am perfectly fine and I do feel good, very, very energized. So that is one thing that I do want to mention.
And so that brings me to what I eat typically on a day-to-day basis. I eat a lot of like stir-fry vegetables. I bought a cast iron skillet maybe a couple months ago now. I can't remember, but that has just been a godsend. I just throw mushrooms, spinach, onions, peppers, all that kind of stuff in there. And, you know, I may put avocado on a tortilla and wrap it all up. I do a lot of things like that, a lot of rice and vegetables. Again, I mentioned the black bean burgers, Gardein products, the Gardein, I don't know, processed meat products, the things that look like chicken and, you know, stuff like that. I do eat a lot of that, which is, you know, it is what it is. You can judge for yourself whether it's good or not good, but that's pretty much, I eat a lot of fruit. And in terms of cheese, you know, I do try to get the vegan cheeses. That's all I buy is vegan cheese. But like I said, if I'm out somewhere and I get something, then of course that cheese isn't vegan unless I actually go to a vegan restaurant. So yeah, a lot of nuts and grains and fruits, vegetables, and my sugar. So that's what I'm doing. And I feel really good. I am most surprised that I don't miss eggs, because I used to eat eggs almost every single day. And that has been my greatest surprise, that I have been able to do it. I never would have thought that I could go without eating eggs. But I'm here now about to prepare my breakfast for after church, and I'm going to do a quick vegetable stir fry and some potatoes, and no, I may do avocado toast. That's what I'm going to do, because I do have avocados. Avocados are my best friend these days. I have probably, this is probably another thing that keeps the weight on too, is I probably have a half avocado most days. So yeah, that's something that I can look out for. And popcorn. I eat a lot of popcorn. So yeah, that's where I am 6 months in.
So my sister and I are very, very similar in our diets, and like a lot of vegetables and things like that. But I thought I'd just take the time to show you a couple of the things that I add in my diet. So this is some sprouted rye bread. And when I have my black bean burgers, I like to make them like a patty melt. So I use this bread here that I get from Sprouts. These are some of the Gardein products that we've both mentioned. These are the crabless cakes that I'm not going to say they taste like crab cakes. They don't, but they are a really, really good supplement. If you like crab cakes, I like to do these on the grill, and they're really good. And then these are the black bean burgers by Gardein. Now these are really, really good. I love those. And then I also eat these. Now these are not vegan, they are vegetarian. So I do throw these in my diet from time to time. These are buffalo wings, and these two are excellent. I love those, even though they're not 100% vegan. For my snacks, I like this, which is a dairy-free salted caramel ice cream bar. These are so good. I really like them. And also, these are not a good thing, but they are vegan. These are fudge stripe cookies that I also buy at Sprouts. I think they also have them at Whole Foods. I'll have a couple of those if I just need something sweet that is vegan. So those are the types of things that I try to eat, but I am going to incorporate more vegetables in my diet over the next couple of weeks. I have 2 more trips coming up over the next 60 days, and so these 7 pounds need to be gone, more than 7 if possible, just to give me a little bit of cushion, because I will be traveling again. So definitely want to continue and not stray away from this lifestyle.
I don't plan on changing anything. There's nothing that I'm not eating that I really want. You know, I had the taste for that fish, and I ate it, and it was really good, but I don't feel like fish is going to be calling me on a regular basis like that. I feel like when I craved it, it must have been something maybe that my body was needing, and I got it, and we'll just see. I'll just take it day by day. It's not like I'm going to go out and start buying fish or anything like that. So I'll just go back to what I've been doing. And yeah, I mean, I feel good. I don't feel the need to change anything at this point. It just feels like it feels normal to me. So yeah, that's my 6-month update, and thanks for watching.
So that's all we have for now. We hope that this video was helpful. We will be coming back on at some point to give additional updates. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. We would love to hear from you. Bye-bye.